Yes, sir.
Okay, hey, we'll call this to order, this work session. At this time, I'd like to ask Bill, would you like to come up? It's time for your contract to come up, and we need to, if you come give us a presentation. I know we didn't do anything, it would automatically renew, and I think you want to make some changes, and come on up forward and talk to us, and. Sure.
Good to see y'all. Gentlemen, Bill Hightower with Ambicare EMS. Two relevant issues that I have, and I've talked to several of you about, is one, looking at an increase. There's not been an increase for EMS system in 23 and a half years. 98% of that's my fault. Broke as a convict. I knew. But anyway, had the handwriting on the wall. We knew what to do to save it, and we did, and so forth. The next is a 24-hour ambulance. That's needed like a breath of fresh air. I am just fortunate to be able to look at you in the eyes and say probably 6, 8, 9 months ago, we transported a family member for one of you. I'm glad the ambulance was in zone because our information once a month is 97.4% of Ambicare's transports are out of this county. You go, why is that? You ought to be able to say where you're going to go. You keep those ambulances 10-8 for us. Well, there's a federal law that states patient's right of choice. Brian, you worked in it long enough. And 97.4% of our transports, they're usually saying Tanner, Carrollton, Tanner, Villarica, Redmond, Floyd, and then occasionally Atlanta, especially with the child going to Choa. We can't deny. And y'all, 7 years ago, I had never heard of this word, walk time. We roll into that ED, emergency department, and that nurse looks at you and goes, we hadn't got a room, you got to hold the wall. We're holding the wall average of 48 minutes. That's taking that ambulance out of our county, being able to render service and holding the wall. We can't abandon the patient and tight. We're sitting there with our fingers in our ears. I'm just here to say Carroll County, the last I was told, had 8 10-8 24-hour ambulances. Their population is a lot bigger. But you know what? The last time I talked with Fitz Greer, that it was in the 80th percentile that they transported in their counties. I wouldn't be standing here bothering y'all if I could keep those units in this county. But we're the only public safety agency that does not determine where we take them. Fire, they're not leaving the county. SO's not leaving the county unless they're going to pick up a prisoner, bring back, so forth. The PDs aren't. We are. We're at a crucial time, and I'm being quite honest with you. I've got some figures. Right now, I don't know if y'all want to hear that or not, but what I think is fair and what I talked to Brian Gibson and our VP in Georgia with Priority EMS is that the county would meet us halfway. Right now, we have medics that it takes 20 months to get certified. They're starting them out at $74,000, making, with tenure, with time, close to $90,000. That's in the $24 range with the amount of hours. Mitch just interviewed a guy last week or 2 weeks ago from Metro, works Cobb County. He'd like to come on part-time. It's not worth his drive. He's making over $32 and some change an hour, which that's Metro. That's the metro area. Can't blame him. But we got to do something to keep our folks. to be a firefighter, and Brian, all of y'all know, we can turn you out in 12 weeks, right? Is that pretty close? 12? You're 10-8, you're on that engine. It's gonna take me 18 minimum, 20 usually, to have you as a paramedic. And I know there's a big pay difference. But if we could come to some compromise, because all I'm gonna look at the public and say to them is, I presented to the county. The only way our zone that is in my name can be taken away is three things: economy, efficiency, and welfare.
Economy what?
Economy, efficiency, and welfare. Well, economy's up to y'all. That ain't been touched in 23 and a half years. Efficiency, we've got the three zones. We're having transport out of county. That's the need that we need. We need more coverage. The other one, welfare, we're nationally accredited, critical care paramedics, and we're fixing to start a program re-upping those percentages to give these citizens in Haralson County the best quality we can give them. And Brian, you know the equipment we had on board when you were there. Priority just replaced cardiac monitors. Brian, when you and Mitch started, you was looking in the $20,000 range with every bell and whistle, pacing capabilities, blood pressure, PO2, end-tidal, 12-lead EKG. They just bought Haralson County 4 cardiac monitors, $78,000 plus tax. Unbelievable. And for y'all to be able to ask, what is subsidy used for? Subsidy is used for one thing and one thing alone. That I cannot roll up on the scene and go, Mr. Golden, Mr. Smith, Mr. Anderson, Ms. Jones, if you'll let me have your credit card, I'll swipe it real quick, and we'll take you anywhere you want to go. I cannot, under contract, deny services for lack of ability to pay. So primarily what this county is doing for the last 23 and a half years, they paid indigent care to where I can't say no service. They need the kitchen sink, I got to pour it to them. That's plain simple. And do you know at what point in our budget $655,000 has been expunged, used? It's by April every year. 1 quarter, y'all. Want to know why I'm not in the ambulance business? That's it. So, gentlemen, I loved answering questions, do whatever y'all need done, but that's the state of the EMS world in your county.
Have you got any updated ambulance costs
Cost where?
to buy another one?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mitch, you just got a new one, 2025. That was around 170-something thousand, is that right? 180. And Danny, that's empty.
Yeah, I know.
We could tote milk in it. Nothing in the shelf.
But what would it cost to do what we did, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago?
What we primarily save on is tax, sales tax. Would that be helpful? Yeah, but in the overall picture, the ARP grant's gone, that
Yeah,
we got that
yeah.
truck on. I wish they still had that available. You know, we got the stretcher, we got the ambulance, we got the CPR machines that's in Tallapoosa, Buck County, and Bremen.
Well, what do you think, what do you think total cost to upfit and buy a new ambulance?
You're looking at $340, right? At least $340.
Okay, and going back to the 655, what kind of numbers are you, I know what I got in my head.
Yeah.
I
I'm
would like to
thinking,
do 10 to 15%.
Danny, to be honest, I'd take less on the increase side to get us the 424-hour truck,
To get another truck.
to get another truck.
Well, let me say something on
Okay.
that, Bill. the fourth truck.
Yep,
When we bought one back in 2022, 23, whenever it came in,
and
you
it
have
took
a
forever.
lease, you had a lease agreement. And with that lease agreement, we not only bought you the county bought an ambulance, they supplied it with some very sophisticated equipment, and we also supplied the other 3 existing ambulances with some highly specialized equipment. So we didn't only just lease you an ambulance, we leased you some other equipment that's in those ambulances. Now, in your lease, item 1.2, it says, additionally, the leasee agrees to fully staff the vehicle and provide service to the citizens of Haralson County pursuant to the existing emergency medical service agreement, which the service agreement calls for 3. You got the ambulance on the pretense that you was gonna put the 4th one out there, but you stand before us today talking about the 4th.
There was nothing mentioned of staffing that truck,
It's in the lease,
well.
Bill. I mean, you
well,
signed it.
Well, that's great, but there was nothing mentioned of staffing. Where that truck is and where that truck is today is at the Station 3, Buck County. Okay? And do you know how many dimes, nickels, or pennies the county expenditured out that were not reimbursed by ARP? 0. County has 0 invested. They were reimbursed, sir. And you know the
It didn't come out of the county money, and that's not where I'm saying it is, sir.
Well, you're saying
I'm
it
just trying to
cost the
say that
county-
We gave you, we, out of our ARC money, we purchased and you brought it to our attention, and rightfully so, and not this board, but the board I was sitting on at the time, agreed to buy. I'm not trying to shoot you down right now. Please understand me. I am not anti-Ambicare.
Right.
Trust me. I am trying to understand more fully where we are.
Okay.
And that lease tells me something different than what you're saying.
There were 7 articles purchased, okay? There was an ambulance, a stretcher, a cardiac monitor, that is all sitting in Buck County, Georgia, as of today, if they're not on call. The others were 3 cardiac CPR machines that are in Tallapoosa, Buck County, and Bremen. That's where everything's at. And what I did is I came before the board chairman at that time and said, hey, I've been told, Department of Highway Safety, the one that tipped me off or sent me some literature about it, said, hey, there's an ARP grant out there for rural EMS where you can use it for this, 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 or this. We made sure that all items fit, all 7. I came back to Ms. Ridley, the board. I said, here's what we'd like to do. Here's the total. I'm sorry I didn't bring that. I can get that from Miss Susan.
I got it here.
But every bit of that is being used in Haralson County. And
Except for the ambulance.
Oh, where's the ambulance at?
You said it's parked up here. You wanted to get the 4th ambulance on the road. You got 3. You got.
It was to replace a wore-out piece of junk.
That's not what it was sold to us on the pretense that we were going to replace one.
The pretense
We were
that was
adding
sold to
one.
you for, and to the board is it was 100% grant funded, would cost the citizens of Haralson County 0. That was the pretenses.
I'm not discussing, I mean,
Yep,
it's
listen.
not the issue to me, Bill, and again, I'm not anti you or Ambicare at all. That was where the money came from, and it's neither here nor there. You asked for an ambulance, and we gave you an ambulance through ARCA money, and the lease required you to put that ambulance on service. I will apologize and retract if anybody can find information saying that we were buying that ambulance to replace an existing ambulance. I do not remember any of that, but
You don't remember all the conversations because it took almost 14 months to get that truck. And I conveyed to y'all, I hope, of how badly we needed that truck to be put in service because the old Medic 3, it was wore slap out. Plain and simple.
So it's not up here in Buchanan anymore?
No, I just told you.
The new
Unless
one
it's on a
is.
call.
The new one
it's-
is, but the old Buchanan one is not here anymore.
No.
Well, again, I stand corrected, but I really would like for our clerk to find something that shows us that you were retiring an ambulance as opposed to adding an ambulance, because this lease doesn't tell me that. It just says you're gonna put it on the road,
And we did.
and you did. But the confusion lies with me, was it a replacement or an addition?
It was
And the
replacement.
reason I say it says it's an addition, because it says, leasee agrees to fully staff the vehicle and provide service to the citizens of Haralson County pursuant to the existing emergency medical service. The existing one showed 3.
It was put in as that number 3 Medic 3 unit. As soon as it was delivered, then it took us about a week to get the radio equipment put in it, and we had all stock. So as soon,
How would you read that interpretation? It's on page 1 of the vehicle lease.
as to the addition, but not additional,
Do what, sir?
it was to be added additionally to the existing fleet to replace that unit.
I don't think I have that lease in front.
Sir?
It's in the contract.
Oh, it's in, okay.
You just gotta find it.
9.2.
I seen it. Now, going back to the price of the ambulance and, would this be to add a 4th unit?
This is to add an
Number 4.
Number 4 truck. Staffed 24 hours, 7 days a week.
And you would rather have that than your subsidiary money?
We need something, Danny, and I'm being honest. You said 10 to 15. If we could get 10% so I could help my folks, I'd love it.
Let me
Or,
tell you
you
where I
know-
think, let me tell you, Bill, where I think you can get that 10%. And this won't cost the county either. So don't hold it against us. If you get a 10% up and it not cost us, don't throw it back. This idea is a good one.
Sounds good.
All right. And it's gonna involve the help of Chairman Walker. But I, for one, living in the city of Bremen, have appreciated, I hadn't needed your service in Bremen, Carroll County, but many have. And I'm sure they're quite grateful that AmbuCare answered that call. I know I would be. But Haralson County is paying you to service Haralson County. Carroll Countyans are paying for West Georgia or Tanner to service Carroll County. So those Carroll County folks are getting charged, that live in the city of Bremen, are getting charged an ambulance fee, which I believe in this last year's budget, they were $1.9 million. So Carroll County needs to take the commercial and residential properties that lie in the city of Bremen, and that amount of tax revenue needs to be sent to Haralson County, and the reason and Haralson County, and we pay you for that service. You already are doing the service. You're already doing it. And it's costing Haralson County taxpayers because we're not paying you to do it. And it's costing Carroll County citizens because they're not getting the service. So there's a good sum of money, because you think about the commercial buildings down there and the tax revenue that's coming out of Bremen, Carroll County. I believe your 10% or more is right there.
It comes from that, and that's
It'd
not
be
even
something we
near-
could look at, but
Look at it.
we still
Look
gotta
at
look
it.
at, we
And-
still
and
gotta
I'll
look
tell
at
you
the
this,
county,
David,
you know.
if you don't think in the last years, even going back to Commissioner Duncan, Haralson County has tried to approach Carroll County. They have not willing to negotiate
It's
one
time,
thing.
it's time for them,
Well,
it's time for them
Take
to
your
come
time,
to the table.
take your
The
time and
chairman-
see what you can get.
The chairman is good friends with the chairman in Carroll County. It is time that they answered the question. I heard a story about a month ago. It happened at a business in Bremen, Haralson County. Bremen Fire showed up, Ambucare showed up, and finally West Georgia showed up. Now, keep in mind that the closest place that West Georgia Ambulance has is in Mount Zion. You're Johnny on the spot right down the bypass. So your people are there. Our fire department is there. West Georgia pulls up at the end of the driveway, sits there for a period of time, then hollers out at the guys, "Y'all got this? We gotta go." Now, that ain't good. That ain't good. And I appreciate more than you'll ever know you being there. But it's time that Michelle Morgan and those Carroll County people pay us for what we are doing in their county.
And that call was in Haralson that you just referred.
Do what?
That call you just referred to is in Haralson County.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. It's
So
a-
we did
it's a
our
couple
job, we
hundred feet over.
responded.
Okay.
Okay.
But there's other instances where they may or may not have even shown up. I sat down there at a life, and we talk about wall time, and that has been a really good term for me to have learned. And I know, this is where I can't say anything bad about ambulance service. This is a state issue. This is a state issue. This ain't a local issue.
No.
Wall time is ridiculous. You're ending up doing the work for a hospital. That's what you're doing. And Lloyd Howard is letting it take place. And if he wants to be in the ambulance service, he needs to have ambulances sitting at his hospitals so that when you deliver, you can go. And if they need transferring, they can take them. That's a state issue, and I know Lloyd Howard wouldn't address it, but that is an expense that we are burdening. That's an expense that is costing your butt on, and that ain't right. But I sat there and watched a Lifeline the other day, Lifeline,
Helicopter?
helicopter. Your man was there. Bremen Fire was there. And they said the incoming time was about 20 minutes. I sat there for 50 minutes on the side until that helicopter showed up. Your ambulance sitting there, Bremen Fire sitting there. Finally, somewhere during that 50 minutes, a security man in a little old car from Tanner Hospital drives up and sits his tail in the car the whole time and never got out. When that helicopter lands, I find out, you then have got to take that helicopter personnel to the hospital to load up on their stretchers and bring that patient back down here. You probably spend an hour and a half or more of your ambulance time that day because we're doing Tanner's work. And that has got to change, and that's got to be a state issue.
Well, it's a Tanner issue because during all the remodeling, the foresight was not there for a LZ landing zone.
Right. They put
They
it
own
in
enough-
operation
they own
room.
enough
They
property
put it in operation
adjacent
room,
to the
now they
hospital.
closed the operation room.
They could put in a LZ on site.
They do.
Yeah.
It is being corrected? Well, it needs to. It was a shame that they ever set it up that way to begin with, because now they close the operation room, so I guess they got a place to put it now.
If it'll go on the roof, but they need to do it on adjacent property.
But it still doesn't, it still maintains you having wall time.
No, it doesn't correct that worth 2 cents.
And we have got to stop that. And I don't know, we're barking to the preachers all in here. This comes over to Gold Dome. But, and I'm sure hospitals will lobby heavy against it. But you ambulance drivers and us counties and us municipalities that are paying for your service need to lobby for it too.
But you know what you're paying for, David?
What's that, sir?
Indigent care.
Yeah.
You're
In
not,
23
you're not
years.
paying for that wall time. You're not paying for that, oh, they stood by for a helicopter. You know, sir, you're paying for an EMS and same with all other counties. They're paying a substitute, they're paying for indigent care.
And indigent care is Medicare, Medicaid, or
Write-offs.
free.
Or
Or free.
self-pay. And
Right.
we can't deny them service.
And in 23 years, the cost of living has went up probably
Yeah,
3
And you want to
times
argue
that.
about 10%.
That's,
No, I'm not arguing
And
about
for
the
23 and a half years, there's been zero.
Bill,
I'm just
Are
saying.
you saying 10% gets a fourth truck?
No.
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 Okay.
No.
He's saying he'd
Ten-
rather have a fourth.
He'd rather have a fourth truck than 10%.
Then going with what Mitch and I and Susan doing the math of looking at 20%, a minimum of 15, I'd rather look at y'all and go, wherever y'all can find the 10%, I don't care where it comes, Easterbrook.
But you'd rather have an ambulance.
But we need desperately an ambulance, because I don't want any one of the five of them to ever go. Bill Hightower, my great niece, whatever the occurrence was, and that ambulance wasn't in this county. I'm telling you, 97.4% are transported out of this county.
I think,
What
Bill,
is the-
though, that we can see, for us, we were able, the county was able to buy an ambulance through ARCA. And that didn't strike the public wrong at all, because it didn't come out of their taxpayer funds. So it went through with a very smooth transition. Today, it would come out of our pockets. And I think that, if we put in we put in there that we're going, and just hear me through, that we put in there that we're going to buy out of, taxpayer money,
I'm not
a
asking
$350,
for
and
one
let
thing.
me finish, and I will, and I
Chase
appreciate you
rabbits.
listening to me. I think, I know you need the ambulance, but I almost feel like the money's gonna be an easier sale than the ambulance.
I'm not asking for an ambulance. I'm asking for a 24-hour truck. Do you know what our saving grace was? Because I could have handed this thing over to Haralson County, and it would have been run like XYZ, that there's a million problems with right now in emergency services in this county. And I knew that was a nightmare going to happen.
No,
Nightmare. So I looked, Tanner wanted to buy us 7 times. I'm told by good friends at National, Rockville County, hey, you ought to talk to priority. It's a national company, individual owned, Brian Gibson. Hey, they don't change operations. The liabilities, if you have enough payroll, if you got enough, pay your bills. So we did. Do you know what else Haralson County gets the advantage of? Is Brian Gibson is so personally involved. He was so hurt right after all when we got that grant, because Haralson County citizens, 0. 14 months until we could get delivery. They were so behind. He went out and built a manufacturing plant in Mississippi. Now Priority EMS produces their own ambulances. We've got a streamlined vehicle. No, sir. I'm gonna let the big boys worry about that. I'm gonna just need y'all's help at hiring 3 paramedics and 3 EMTs. That's what I need, because it's gonna produce 0 more income. Because you know what our write-offs are annually? Our collection is 32%. 68% is write-off. Your $655,000 that I pay also, along with the 5 of y'all, is used by mid-April. I don't need an ambulance. Let's don't chase those rabbits.
What are you needing to get a fourth? What do we need to, what do you need to get a fourth truck? Because I know the volume.
You need the money.
I need the money,
Okay.
okay? Here's what I'm thinking, and I'm not talking workers' comp, I'm not talking health insurance, but it's gonna cost us, for an EMT, you're gonna be making around, starting out 56, 57, okay? Paramedic, 78 to 80. If the county could find, make me in half, that's about $240,000 for those 3 paramedics. And if you said, hey, I'll do 3 EMTs, something's better than nothing, but we're talking about saving lives. Because what I'm gonna do is point Ms. Jones up here to y'all, if I don't have that ambulance in the county, and they're down there holding the water time, or they transported someone right now, depending.
And where are you gonna get the 4th ambulance from? You going
From Florida.
okay, let me ask you something, and you brought this up, and I've been wanting, I've held this close to my heart for about 6 years, and I keep asking for it, and it brings up good conversation once again. In your contract, the contractor shall not assign any interest under this agreement or monies due therefrom without the prior written consent of the county. The contractor shall retain personnel control and shall provide personal attention to the fulfillment obligations pursuant to this agreement. Contractor shall not transfer this agreement without prior written consent of the county. In the event a party to this agreement commits an act of breach as described in this agreement, written notice of the breach shall be forwarded to the breach party by certified mail. Bill, I've been trying for 6 years to get all the contracts, well, 4 years. All the contracts, it's 4 years ago, I believe it was, that you sold, a little over 4, it was 4 in December. I've been trying to get, we have nothing in writing from ever whom you sold. I've heard conversation in the beginning, I think you said it was a 51-49 split and you were saying 49. Okay, conversation out on the
I
street.
answered that question.
Yes, sir.
was I own minority interest.
Okay, so we assume that that's 49. It may be less than that then.
It's less than that.
Okay, so having said that, we do need to see that agreement.
Yeah.
We do not
You
know,
don't need to see my buy-sell agreement, David.
well, that's what it,
No, that states, when I met with Ronnie Ridley, notified him and Allison
Palmer,
Palmer, met with them on 3 occasions. It was 4 months out of 7. What do you need? We refused Ronnie Ridley with everything asked for.
this, I know,
Signed
you
that
produced,
contract. Ronnie Ridley did.
you produced everything that Ronnie asked for, okay? But it still doesn't change the fact that it's in here, Bill,
Well,
and
I'll
we
look you
need
straight-
it.
I'll look you straight, and I'll tell you, you're not seeing my buy-sell agreement.
Well,
I signed a non-disclosure.
We have-
So no, sir.
we have zero indication in writing from the buyer that you have, and listen, Bill, I'm not trying to be, but you gotta understand, this is not the days when your grandfather and everything was just handshake, and I wished it was, buddy, I really do.
5 years ago is who's in charge?
Who is in charge?
And what did I answer your question with, David? That
You-
night at the gym.
You-
What did I tell you?
I don't remember that now.
That was me. I said, I'm your huckleberry. That's me.
But we have nothing in writing from the buyer that says that Bill Hightower has the right to argue or to negotiate a contract on our behalf. Bill, we have nothing.
But it
Don't-
doesn't matter, David, because he owns the zones. He has to provide.
But read what the contract says.
I know what the contract
Okay,
says, but
well then-
he has to provide it. If
I
Ambucare walks
notified
away
Ronnie
from
Ridley
it,
of everything
Bill
that
Hightower is
he
responsible.
I'm not arguing you gave him everything that Jay needed or not. I'm saying that for whatever reasons,
No,
and we
what
have.
you wanna know is the buy-sell agreement, which I signed a non-disclosure for, that I'm not turning over to you.
Well, then strike out the dollar amounts and leave, and give us the verbiage in there, redact the dollar amount. I don't give a
You
crap.
want something from Priority EMS that states I have full authority to negotiate, and I am chief of EMS for Ambicare, Inc. That suffice you?
That's what you're asking for.
That's what I'm actually asking for.
That's all you gotta ask for.
Okay.
Can you get that written up today?
No, it don't need to be written up from him. It's got to come from me.
No, it's gonna come
coming
from Priority.
Priority.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
All right,
That's
so,
fine.
so going back to at hand here, I would like to bring it to the board that since he's asked for personnel, I've run up a figure here of 32% of 655 comes up to $210,000. And that's what I request that we think about, and
It puts up a truck,
Puts up a
and,
truck.
and that helps,
I won't.
adds to engine
Yes, sir.
care.
It'll be four, and I'm still unable to refuse services.
That's
I
right.
want y'all to understand this, please. I don't want David to come back and go, I didn't understand. Guys, and you know, and he knows, it's gonna take me 6 months to hire these personnel. I can't snap my finger and go, hey, got them on board.
yeah.
And honestly, too, it's up to y'all's discretion. My suggestion would be, I'll be on our expense, but I've got upstairs, I built an extra bay here at Buck County. I would put that full 24-hour ambulance being centrally located in the county here at Buck County. Now, I can get walls done and plumbing and wiring and all that a lot quicker than I think I can look at Mitch goes. We want some good eligible paramedics. We
But-
want to put green on top.
But, Danny,
Yes.
your number includes a $200 and something thousand increase forever and a day. We give it to him one time to help buy.
No, we're not
No,
buying
it's
a
a
truck.
monthly.
You're chasing rabbits.
Yeah,
We're
it's
not buying
not,
a truck.
we don't,
We're staffing a truck.
we're staffing, that's all
We
we're
are
doing.
increasing
But
the
you said
subsidy.
235,000?
210,000.
10,000.
But he said that's what it would cost. He wasn't asking
needs
us
to
for that
cover-
much.
Well, it's just,
Staffing on a truck.
he's covering staffing for a
It's
truck.
3 individuals on that truck, and in order to
Cover
pay
a
those
fourth
individuals,
unit
it's gonna
in the
cost
county.
So you're asking us to pay for the entire staffing of that one
No, that
truck?
ain't even gonna pay for the entire
You're not
staffing.
listening.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Okay.
You just missed this one.
Okay.
What did I say a paramedic makes?
One was 80 and one was 125 or something like that.
80,000 on paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at, am I right, 67?
Times
67.
6.
Yeah, the 67 would be 3 EMTs, okay? 80 times 3 would be 3
240.
paramedics.
Would be 3 paramedics.
Because you understand, they work 24 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
They're 48 off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes
3
sets-
paramedics
Yeah.
for one ambulance.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's asking us to cover.
He's
what?
asking to cover one.
So that's about
Basically, for 3 shifts.
$440,000, the way I figured it out, somewhere around $440 a year.
Yeah.
So,
Are you good if we discuss this a little bit more, Bill, and throw it on the next, when we can actually vote on it?
Certainly.
Okay.
And let me ask you.
When does this contract,
June th-
Okay.
June
July,
30.
but you gotta be in
we have to have
discussion,
in a,
so it don't automatically,
okay.
and this meets that term.
Yes. We're about way before.
So we
this
can
started.
discuss from here on out.
I'm gonna get along and do what y'all have done. Here's my only question. His idea of talking to Carol King. That would be great. Pull that out of my head.
Yeah.
We need something from our older folks that have been serving this county, and they've got nothing for 23 and a half years. And like I said, we had in mind 20%, 15%. Y'all, if I can get this fourth truck, I'm good with 10% increase.
Okay, that's a whole lot better than 230 something.
No, it ain't neither. No, because that's $340,000 for one year.
Where's the 10%
Plus, stop talking about the
Oh,
truck.
God, 10% on the.
Yeah, see,
10%
that's
on
why I
the-
say if we, that's why I asked him.
23 and a half years.
You want 10% on the 655 plus the
Plus
other.
the increase
Plus-
on the fourth ambulance.
Which takes us from 210 to 275. But the real ask is 275. They might,
You're right. You
There
combine
you
the
go.
two.
Because you're combining the two.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And this is not replacing a truck, this is an additional truck. Y'all,
So that would put us 4 trucks at 8, at what kind of total?
It'd be,
I had to add all that up, right?
7, 8,
865.
865, about around 860.
it'd be about
Be
940.
940.
940?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Okay, 940, and how many ambulances does West Georgia have running their county?
280,000.
They're a larger county, I do know that. They got
8.
9, 8,
8 or 9, I think it's 8.
and they're at a
Plus-
$1.9 million, request from the county. I was just trying to compare apples to apples, and
You look, get Michelle to tell you
If you look at 23
what.
and a half years, 23 and a half years with absolutely not a dollar.
well, let me just tell you what
That's-
that
that's-
let me just tell you
But
what,
the cost of, but if you look at 23 and a half years ago versus today, and what an ambulance because I just paid one. Bill, did I pay one?
Yes.
You come got me. I know what they cost.
but let me say this,
And I got
and I
insurance.
appreciate, I appreciate the
insurance.
23 and a half years.
About it, yeah.
Oh, and I
But
do
what was he
too.
making 23 and a half years ago?
I don't know, but today is totally different.
It is
Today's,
totally different. But
especially
I
in
don't-
transportation.
I do believe that.
$5
And
a gallon
Bill,
for
you know,
diesel fuel.
And maybe the hindsight to Bill is, to this is that you have gone for 23 years without asking for an
Exactly.
increase, and there have been annual increases in your households and anybody's household. But it does lead to the question, if you haven't gone up in 23 and a half years, dang, in the beginning, how dang much was you making on that 655? And back in the 23, and listen, I'm just saying that from a perspective.
Jason Rabbit.
Okay, I'm Jason Rabbit.
My thing is
But I'm-
this, and I'm asking, call any one of the district commissioners in Carroll County. When Steve still owned it, what did they increase that outside truck? One truck.
Let me just say this, just to answer David's question, because then I'd like to move on to the next thing. $100 in the year 2000 has the same purchasing power as $188 today. If that gives you any idea for what we're looking at, the value of his services in 2000, which I know is a little more than 23 years ago, the value of those same services today would be close to, about $1 million, a little over $1 million.
Exactly.
So, I mean, we're not even bringing up to what the value of the money would have been at the
Standard.
present time. I mean, it's, if you want to talk about a COLA, cost of living increase, however you want to word it, we're still under what that dollar amount would have been versus what it was 23 years ago, so.
Plus, you got to look at what we're doing here. The main goal here is to add another truck, and we're servicing the citizens of this county.
And the only thing I would ask is if we do this, is you guarantee us this truck will stay in Haralson County and take care of our people and not send it to,
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
This,
If there's 4 calls,
I wish I could look at you and go,
yeah.
that sucker ain't moving.
Can't do it.
I can't do it.
I got you.
Well, because if there's
Say-
4
say-
calls,
I understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
but I'm asking to go to here, there, I got you.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
If there's 4 accidents in the county and there's 4 out, I mean, we don't,
But I wish I could, Eddie. I
yeah, oh, yeah,
promise you.
yeah, 100%. But this will help.
Yes, sir. It would drastically help.
So this is putting in to 912,000. Are we all on that same page of that?
That is the number, yes.
Yeah.
Bill, also, I just need to clarify, y'all still pay for your radios, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because we got that. I was just making sure. I didn't know. Finance is getting ready to send you a bill for the 800 radios, so just making sure that was right.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank y'all.
All right. Item number 2, guys, we just need the other thing was the land lease we got on our land right now. Is everybody still good with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have any issue.
I did ask, make sure Avery, we have had people to call wanting to know if they could bid on this, and
Sure.
Avery,
And when the board approved it, it was discussed at that time, but this is really not a hunting lease. What it is the county needed somebody to provide security services for this property that we just bought We didn't have any staff or anybody that could provide those security services. There was a lot of trespassing going on. We had a lot of, obviously, we have the Development Authority showing the property, and we want people out there looking at it. There's a tenant in one of the houses. There's a cabin. There's a lot of things to watch out for on the property that we didn't have anybody to do that. So the neighbors were willing to provide all of those services to the county and didn't cost the county a thing except, hey, you can hunt on the property as long as you provide all these services to us. Let the Development Authority in anytime they need to show the property. We know the property's, cameras are up, so that
Gates, all
there's
of
trash
that.
gates
They
are up.
pay for all of that out of their
Yeah.
pocket.
And they are paying 14,000, I think it is, in the lease a year.
11.5.
I forgot what the number was, but.
It was 11,
So, I don't know.
11.5, I believe.
Yeah, it was 11-2.
11.2?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's security, that way the people knows it's secured, we have someone living there.
Yes.
Yes.
And they provided the gates, they have cameras on all the properties, they take care of the roads, they maintain the property, so, yeah.
Would you redraw this lease? It's time for us to do that signing, I think.
It automatically renews on a
And,
year-to-year basis.
We don't have no signed copies
Oh,
at all. And we need to
Have it on file.
get it on file. If you can draw up one.
You just take the existing one and put in.
They
the-
never signed it. The people, the leasees have never signed. There's nothing in nothing in signature, so.
I have my copy is signed, so.
I was about to say, they signed it. yeah.
Okay, we didn't have one
Taken
here.
care of in last
Okay,
year,
if you
yeah.
got one, that's fine. We never,
Yeah, I
The
have
ones
a
that
copy.
I've
There's
had-
only one, it was an original lease, and it automatically renews on a year-to-year basis, so there's not a new one that's signed every
signed,
year.
okay, we just didn't have one in the file here.
Make sure we have a copy of it for you.
Yeah.
The original, or you got the original.
It's literally
Right in
right
there.
there.
You have it too, it's just on page 7.
Okay.
the second
Okay,
page.
thank you. That was just.
Yep.
All righty, anything else? Meeting adjourned.